Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the liability issues in Space Shuttle Columbia disaster. On February 1st, 2003, the Space Shuttle Columbia was lost on its way back to the Earth's atmosphere. It claimed all 7 astronauts' lives on board, and the debris of the Space Shuttle were confirmed in the states of Texas and Louisiana. This comes from the memorial speech given by President George Washington Bush on the 3rd day of the accident. Based on the final report provided by Columbia Accident Investigation Board, they determined that the primary aim of the investigation was to identify and correct threats to the aircraft rather than assigning formal blame or determining legal liability for the causes of the accident. As a result of the investigation, the board identified a number of pertinent factors that could be grouped into these following 3 categories. However, there must be someone that stands out to take care of the consequences of the accident, to take care of the life losses and other damages. We should start out the analysis of the potential liability issues associated from understanding relevant legal documents and present doctrines. According to the Congressional Research Service report, the analysis begins with the traditional common law doctrine of sovereign immunity, which says that the United States cannot be sued without its consent. In other words, unless allowed by the federal law, the United States is not liable for its and its employees' wrong acts. Another relevant legal document is the Federal Tort Claim Act, FTCA, in which Congress waived sovereign immunity for some torts. With exceptions, the FTCA makes the United States liable for injuries caused by the negligent or wrongful acts or omissions that conducted by the federal employees. However, another doctrine named the Ferris Doctrine states that there are 3 major exceptions under which the United States may not be held liable. I would incorporate the relevant ones later into this specific disaster. In addition, the Federal Employees Compensation Act prohibits federal employees from bringing suits under the FTCA with respect to the work-related injuries. Thus makes it no differences from other compensation acts. In this disaster, at least 6 out of the 7 members of the crew of Columbia were federal employees, and 5 of them were U.S. military personnel. However, according to the Federal Employee Compensation Act, suits are blocked against the United States government by civilian federal employees, and also with regard to the Ferris Doctrine, it prohibits suits by military personnel for injuries sustained incident to the service. Under this condition, what really happened was that the settlements with crew members' families came from private contractors. And based on a government contractor defense, government and private contractors are encouraged to reach settlements accordingly to avoid litigation. Reportedly, NASA has partially indemnified the United Space Alliance and some other shuttle contractors for major shuttle accidents. But it is still not clear whether the indemnification extends to lawsuits over astronauts' deaths. Since there are no other personal injuries reported, other damages caused by the shot debris that may arouse compensation issues and liability issues can be grouped into these 3 categories: the physical property damage, the debris clearance, and the toxic chemicals damage. If we combine the condition with the legal documents that we previously mentioned, it is reasonable to anticipate that such property owners will seek to collect damages under the Federal Tort Claim Act, FTCA. However, the damage recovery under the Act depends upon a finding of negligence. At this point, the conflict lies in that the plaintiffs were unable to show that the Department of Defense had been negligent in planning or operating flights. Furthermore, the discretionary function under the Ferris Doctrine declares that actions or omissions that involve policy decisions are immunized. If we take designing a spacecraft or establishing a program of inspection for the manufacturers as policy decisions, then no one is supposed to hold any responsibilities or liabilities for these damages. It is clearly manifested, right? In fact, according to the Congressional Research Service report, the solution that we can see is NASA announced procedures for filing claims on its website in anticipation of the property owner's claims, and NASA's Office of the General Counsel has also made available information on the claim filing process and the FTCA, as well as NASA's internal ability to resolve claims valued at less than $10,000. Now we can come to the conclusion. When carefully examined, it is not hard to find out that due to mutual checks and interventions between the legal documents and various doctrines, the liability issue of the disaster is still not well defined. However, the analysis succeeds in arousing concerns and promoting better understanding of the issue, and at last, no matter what, life losses and other damages get paid. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.